United Artists Cable, we're tuned into you.
Good Samaritan saved the day for some pigeons in a perilous predicament. Good evening, I'm Jerry Weber.
And I'm Karen Keith. Tomorrow, Tulsa County voters will decide the fate of the so-called penny sales tax.
As you know, that's an incentive to lure Defense Department Finance Center to Tulsa. Governor Walters was in town this afternoon with what he believes is another incentive. He signed into law the state jobs legislation, which will provide economic incentives and investment options for new businesses such as the Defense Center. And Walters says Tulsa has a good shot at landing the project.
You know, I have to believe they're good. I just can't believe, I'm looking around here at this facility, I can't believe that 20 other cities all have facilities that are this nice. Tulsa has a very aggressive proposal. I think they've exceeded all of the minimums.
Tulsa, of course, is one of 3 Oklahoma cities vying for the project. Governor Walters would not say which city has the best proposal. The Tulsa County Election Board says as many as 50,000 may vote tomorrow. This is what your ballot will look like. You'll see it in a moment. A yes vote means you support an extra penny sales tax for 3 years to help pay for the accounting center facility and its maintenance. No means you're against the proposal, which would go into effect only if the Defense Department selects Tulsa. You'll also be voting on annual school millage levies. Voters can cast their ballots at their usual polling places.
If you have children, there's a warning tonight. Make sure they're buckled properly. Tulsa police will be watching. Children are the most vulnerable in an auto accident and need to be buckled up or properly restrained in an approved car safety seat. Officers will begin a selective enforcement effort similar to the one that helped raise seatbelt use in the city from 36% to 70% over an 18-month period. An unbuckled child can mean a $15 citation. If a child is standing in a moving vehicle or riding in the driver's lap, it can jump to $50. Civil rights advances in society have apparently not taken hold behind bars. Experts say white inmates are being paroled much more often than blacks. Whites make up 55% of the prison population in the Sooner State, but account for more than 60% of those on parole. Black inmates, on the other hand, make up 35% of the prison population, but only about 30% of the paroled population. And the experts say it's worse nationwide. Prison officials can't explain the disparity, but say it suggests racial bias is still embedded in the judicial system. Well, local environmentalists call it a crime against nature.
Birds trapped and left to die. News Channel 2's Brad Rogers reports.
This one's still pretty sick, I think. He had a tough time.
When David Rule was a boy, he was taught to respect nature. That's why he's outraged with the person who left a number of pigeons to starve to death over the weekend.
My grandparents raised pigeons for a number of years, and we never, treated our pigeons in this way. We took care of them.
David Rule is a member of the Tulsa Sierra Club, a local environmental group. The club adopted a 2-mile stretch of Highway 75.
Over the weekend, he and other club members were picking up trash here along Highway 75 when they came across a sack full of pigeons lying right about here. Someone had apparently driven by, tossed the birds out of a car, and left them here to die.
The sack, which once contained commercial pigeon feed, now contained numerous pigeons trapped inside without any food. 4 of the pigeons were already dead.
There was 3 that were alive. One of them died right after I got it home, but these 2 seem to be coming along a lot better. This one's come along pretty good today. He's
noisy.
Yeah, he's noisy, and he's feeling a lot better. I don't think he'll fly off yet.
Whoever dumped the pigeons was probably raising them. These are not messengers, nor are they pets. These birds, with their small heads, short legs, and deep-chested bodies, are raised like chickens to eat.
People that raise pigeons should know better to throw pigeons in a sack and just throw them out on the side of the road. There's better ways to get rid of them if they have to.
Pigeons may not be as handsome, as charming, as enchanting as other birds, but they are a part of nature, a part David Rule says deserves as much respect as any other creature. Brad Rogers, News Channel 2.
And David Rule hopes to nurse those pigeons back to health and turn them loose back into the wild.
They look pretty.
Pigeons are good looking.
Yeah.
Still ahead on News Channel 2, a predicament for a nature lover who wants beavers to keep their teeth to themselves. That's a little bit later.
When we come back, a warning of sorts if you want to give to the charity of your choice.
You're watching Tulsa's news leader, KJRH, News Channel 2.
It's like sleeping on a hammock.
So Ed and I are going to get a new orthodontic mattress.
Orthopedic mattress, Earl, one that gives us proper spinal alignment for a restful night of slumber.
And for big selection, we're going to Friendlier Factory Outlet.
Furniture Factory Outlet, where right now you can purchase a queen-size orthopedic premium mattress set with a 15-year warranty for only $257. So you visit Furniture Factory Outlet.
For a price that's very ecological.
Economical, Earl.
Red Baron.
Bring the Baron home tonight. Red Baron Pizza microwave singles.
Do you know the tax laws?
I have interest in tax laws, but that is not an area that I feel comfortable with.
I feel ignorance about them, which of course ignorance breeds fear.
We don't have to know the tax laws. We can turn that over to H&R Block and let them do it for us.
Income taxes are all we do. Let America's tax team take the worry out of your taxes.
H&R Block takes care of me.
It's one less hassle in life.
H&R Block, America's tax team.
But when I donate to something, I want to really be a donation to that particular place and not furnish someone's living.
The woman you just heard heeded a word of warning from the Better Business Bureau of Tulsa.
And sometime soon, you too may get a letter from an organization trying to raise money to fight cancer. News Channel 2's Chris Gabitas joins us now. And Chris, why is the Better Business Bureau concerned?
Well, it's the nature of this letter and the group that's doing the fundraising. The group is the Pacific West Cancer Fund of Seattle, and organizers say their goal is to educate the public about cancer and provide services for cancer patients. But the BBB is concerned about the way this group does business, and so is Carolyn Logan of Tulsa. Most days, Carolyn Logan is in her garage doing upholstery, but today she can also teach consumers a good lesson. It has to do with this letter she received Friday. The letter was addressed to Logan's 18-year-old daughter, Laura, and wanted Laura to go door to door in her own neighborhood collecting money for the fight against cancer.
I called the Better Business Bureau, and he checked the addresses and the names and said this was not a good place.
Dan Gridley is president of Tulsa's BBB, and he's concerned for a couple of reasons. First, the letter is to raise money for the Cancer Center for Detection and Prevention, a project of the Pacific West Cancer Fund of Seattle. Gridley fears consumers might think the fund is affiliated with the American Cancer Society. It is not. And the other reason is this, that so little of the contributions to the Cancer Center, less than 1%, go toward program services for cancer patients.
If you gave $10 to this group, 80 cents of that $10 would go to what they say they're actually doing.
Where does the rest of the money go? Well, according to this letter, almost 32% goes to fundraising, and nearly 61% is earmarked for, and we're quoting here, public education in conjunction with fundraising appeals. Now, what that means, we really don't know because fund organizers haven't returned any of my calls, but it could mean this. Here is a copy of the letter from Pacific West Cancer Fund that went to Carolyn Logan's daughter. On back here, It explains where the contributions go. This comes from the letter. And this could very well be an example of what they mean by public education in conjunction with fundraising, because the letter also lists ways to avoid cancer and certain household toxics that might lead to cancer.
Now, Pacific West has gotten an unsatisfactory rating from National Better Business Bureau, have they not?
That's exactly right. And that unsatisfactory rating came for their inability to disclose certain pieces of information, such as their financial statements, and also to answer consumer complaints handled by the BBB. By law, they are not required to answer those complaints or furnish that information to the BBB. That's how the BBB decides on, you know, what organizations are considered legitimate in their eyes.
Are there any standard tips for knowing who to donate to and who not to?
Definitely. Do your homework. First, call the Better Business Bureau in your area, and they'll furnish the information. And then on the basis of that, you can decide who you want to contribute to.
And that's always good advice.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. The state's regulatory hold on Southwestern Bell may be slipping. A state Senate committee has approved a bill that would virtually remove the telephone company from regulation by the State Corporation Commission. The bill would get rid of the commission's process for setting basic telephone rates. Opponents say that would remove consumer safeguards. Those favoring the bill, including Southwestern Bell, say it's needed to promote economic development.
This spring-like weather has been heavenly, but how long do you think it'll last?
Well, I hope for a while. Chief Meteorologist Gary Shore will have the answer in the complete forecast when we come back.
It's not if you win or lose, but how you play the game. Kids, coaches. Some help children fulfill dreams. Others make sports a nightmare. A current affair goes undercover for a piercing look at the side of youth sports most parents never see, where friendly competition gives way to the coach's obsession. Malice and Mentors on the next A Current Affair.
Tonight at 6:30 on Channel 2. Coming up, Tulsa's forecast with Chief Meteorologist Gary Shore.
Nestled in a park in South Tulsa is a hotel designed just for you, the Doubletree at Warren Place. Relax in the peaceful setting of the Warren Duck Club, a popular place for casual lunches, as well as an intimate setting for romantic candlelight dinners. The Doubletree also offers an elegant ballroom with a spectacular view of the city, ideal for wedding receptions and other catered events. The Doubletree at Warren Place, Tulsa's premier getaway.
What's better about Wendy's 99-cent super value menu?
Better food.
Right, quality.
How about the chili?
Wendy's rich and meaty chili.
Lots of choices.
Variety and...
Chili.
Right, that's chili.
Really great fries.
Ah, yes, biggie fries.
Did someone say chili?
I believe so. Do I know you?
With Wendy's 99-cent super value menu, you don't pay more, you just get more every day.
Like Wendy's 99-cent quarter-pound double stack with cheese, a quarter-pound of beef piled high with fresh fixins. Just one of the 99-cent items you'll find every day on Wendy's super value menu.
Well, it'll be easy to get spoiled.
Oh, we are spoiled.
I mean, really spoiled for February.
Yeah, nice, easy weather. One more day of it. Then things get kind of unsettled by Wednesday. Well, it's acting like spring, so what do you expect? A chance of thunderstorms in the forecast by Wednesday. And then some colder air to come back later this week. But the way these computers have been overplaying the cold air, I'm only going to mention the fact that there's a hint of a chance of snow on Thursday. Let's take a look at what's going on right now. As far as the middle of the country, basically, we're in pretty good shape. There's a lot of clouds just to the north of us. That big cold air mass just kind of ground to a halt near the Kansas-Oklahoma border this morning. Decided it would spare Oklahoma and leave us in springtime while they're having wintry conditions just to our north, just 100 miles north of here. Temperatures are actually down around freezing now. Notice this huge storm, a lot of moisture coming into the western states, especially Southern California. Some places around LA having more than 3 inches of rain. There was flooding there. And there were some heavy rains in the southeast in the last 24 hours. but that is getting on out of the way now, shifting on out to sea. All eyes here on this western storm. It looks like the clouds from it will spread across us gradually tomorrow, and then the moisture by later tomorrow night and Wednesday could be locally heavy. Now, the current surface map shows this front stalled out about where this cloud edge is, right in the extreme southern border of Kansas. And notice it is quite a dramatic contrast across this front, literally from winter to spring. But it did decide to stop just north of us, and now the southerly winds will increase ahead of the western storm and keep it from getting in here for a couple days until later on this week. Then we'll see a return to more normal temperatures. But for right now, look at these Weather Watch reports. 66, a popular number. Eufaula, Shakota, Tahlequah, Bartlesville. And up at Collinsville and Langley, the coolest you can find right now, 63 degrees. Outside in Tulsa on this beautiful evening, temperatures now dropping off. 62 at the airport now, 39% humidity with southeasterly winds at 9 miles an hour. And the barometric pressure rising slightly. The high of 69, well, that's 20 degrees ahead of where we're supposed to be this first week of February. And the morning low of 34 degrees. Actually was a little closer to normal. Big spread today. Mold, pollen, pollution, all good numbers there. And taking a look at what's going on as far as high temperatures tomorrow, we should be back into the 60s, but the colder air just kind of sitting to our north for a little while, actually probably retreating a little bit as the big storm comes out of the west and pulls up a lot of Gulf moisture ahead of it, though. We will see quite a bit of shower and thunderstorm activity by Wednesday, but not tomorrow. We'll still be mild. As the ridge passes, that's when the clouds and the humidity really first start to increase. And watch what happens by Thursday. That big western storm looks like it comes right about sailing over our heads on Thursday. That means most of the snow and ice will be to the north of us, although we will catch some of the cold air and maybe a little bit of the wintry stuff on Thursday. Again, that's just a maybe. But in the western states, another ridge of high pressure building up, so it looks like drier air will build in quickly by Friday and Saturday, and the next coming weekend looks pretty good. This evening, pleasant, mostly clear and dry. South-southeasterly winds across the area. Increasing south winds tomorrow, running up into the 20s. In fact, maybe even gusting to 30 by afternoon, so not as chilly. High, thin clouds in the morning and then some thicker clouds later in the afternoon, but still very, very mild, even with the chance of a shower by late afternoon, mainly west of Tulsa. Low tonight about 40 here. Some 30s cooler spots, but in the 40s to our southwest because the winds will be cranking up faster there. Highs tomorrow, some low 70s, but mostly mid to upper 60s. The clouds slowly increase, so one more nice day, but kind of windy out there tomorrow. Now the 4-day forecast details. Wednesday will start warm in the 50s, hit around 60 with some showers and some storms, maybe a heavy storm or two Wednesday, but then temperatures really plunge Wednesday night. By Thursday, it should be in the 30s. With the precip ending maybe as a little wet snow and then clearing out by Friday, but kind of cold.
But it gets more like February then, doesn't it?
Yeah, like it's supposed to.
Like it's supposed to, thank you. Still to come, a gnawing problem that pits man against one of nature's hardest workers.
But coming up next, Keith Isbell has the latest on Troy Aikman's early trip home from the Pro Bowl.
Jack and Jill lived high on a big hill, suffering house payments that were bigger still. Said Jack to Jill, "Oh, refinance we will at Heartland Federal to lower our monthly bill." At Heartland they found a plan really most sound and at interest rates that were very low down. Said Jill with a big grin, "With Heartland's low rate and our payments so thin, we're adding on a very fine den. With millions to lend to you and your friends, Heartland can help housing budgets to mend."
You realize that the energies at St. John have been able to go into the providing of what they're there for, which is good care for the patients. They also are really a center for wellness. Medical excellence and compassionate care is the motto of St. John. But for St. John, that's just business as usual. I'm proud to be a part of St. John.
Look at them. Not now, gotta run. Have your fax, call mine. No wonder Sonic's always hopping. In a matter of minutes, we can have your favorite foods cooked to order. Like hot, crispy fries and a big, juicy burger. Sonic's Burger and Fries for just $1.99. Delivered fast by our friendly car hops. And of course, you can get it for here or to go.
No place hops like Sonic. It's a story that could only happen on Sesame Street Live. Sleeping Birdie, starring the yellowest, the incomparable Big Bird. Watch as Big Bird is cast into a big sleep. Will the jealous queen reign as the yellowest of all? Enjoy this super saga of music, merriment, and irrepressible antics. There's nothing like Sesame Street Live.
Don't miss the fun at the Mabee Center, Thursday, February 25th through Sunday, February 28th. Tickets on sale now at the Mabee Center and select outlets.
All right, here are the results from the telepoll from over the weekend. Which haircut for Doogie, who, of course, predicted that Buffalo would win the Super Bowl wrongly, we may add. The Thurman cut, an overwhelming choice over the Jimmy style. So, Doogie Howser, next Saturday on Oklahoma Sports Today, will get the old head shaved like Thurman Thomas.
I don't know how you'd even get the other look. I mean, you can't grow it out like that.
Yeah, but you can get that hairspray on there.
Does Doogie's mama know about this?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not going to be the one to tell her. I'll tell you that. Super Bowl MVP Troy Aikman needs a new travel agent. Troy has created an uproar after leaving the Pro Bowl last night before the fourth quarter without telling any of the NFC coaches. He says he left the stadium to catch an early flight that had already been arranged from Honolulu. As the NFC backup quarterback, Aikman says he didn't think about anything in terms of the trouble until he returned to Dallas and learned that the NFC coach George Seifert was less than pleased that Aikman had said aloha without leaving so much as a note. Troy needed to be in Dallas this morning to attend to some business with his Troy Aikman Charity Foundation. The NFL, Jerry, you like this, the NFL is looking into the situation. More trouble for Miami running back Bobby Humphrey. He was shot in the knee during an argument with another man in his car today. This just 1 week after Humphrey's arrest for cocaine possession. The doctor is ready to make a house call on the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame. Julius Dr. J. Irving, one of 8 former playing greats, headed to Springfield, Massachusetts in the hall. Irving was the Michael Jordan of his day as he defied gravity, first in the ABA and last with Philadelphia of the NBA. In addition to the doctor, former Blazer star Bill Walton is on his way to the hall. So are Walt Bellamy, Dan Issel, Dick McGuire, and women Ann Myers and Yelena Semilya of the Soviet Union. And little guys will be represented by 5'9" Calvin Murphy, who was arguably the greatest free throw shooter of all time. He summed up everybody's feelings about the hall.
You know, I'm a very emotional person. And being in the hall in Springfield and Norwalk, Connecticut is only 2 hours down the road. So, that, you know, from what I understand already from my mom, she wants to know when we were going to be inducted. So the city's going to empty out.
No question about that. Brooks Thompson had a Hall of Fame-like day on this past Saturday. His 23 points and overall floor game gave him reason to smile and helped his OSU Cowboys beat the Sooners. Thompson's heroics also helped Brooks grab the Big 8 Player of the Week award. Thompson averaged over 17 points and 8 assists in wins over the Sooners in Colorado last week. He was also on live with us Saturday after the game, so we at Channel 2 fully agree with this honor. One downer for OSU today, though. 12th man Sean Pell has left the team for personal reasons. Corey Beck is still a Razorback, but he won't be allowed in any games in the near future. Head coach Nolan Richardson says his point guard has been suspended indefinitely after Beck was arrested for driving while intoxicated over the weekend in Fayetteville. Nolan says Beck will miss at least the Hogs showdown with Kentucky on Wednesday night. New top 25 is out. Indiana is again #1, second straight week for the Hoosiers with 51 first-place votes. Kentucky holding at #2, followed by Duke, Michigan, and Arizona. North Carolina remains at #6. Then it is KU with the big fall after the loss to Nebraska. Cincinnati, Wake Forest, and Florida State. Vanderbilt at #11. Arkansas up to #14. K-State at #23. And there you see it, Sooner fans. OU out of the ratings for the first time all season. Well, it wouldn't bother the Southeastern Conference at all if Texas and Texas A&M decided to join Arkansas in the SEC. LSU Athletic Director Joe Dean says the SEC has had informal talks with representatives of both Texas and Texas A&M. Dean says no invitations have been made, and the SEC office in Birmingham says no one from that office has formally talked to either school. The Horns and Aggies are charter members of the Southwest Conference, but then so is Arkansas.
And if they were to leave,
want out.
the Southwest Conference would not
They would not
exist.
be the target that everybody makes it at this point in terms of getting into it.
Really? Thank
Thanks.
you, Keith.
Man against one of the most persistent forces of nature.
One man is finding out that they don't call them eager beavers for nothing.
Produce is a good deal fresher. Shopping is such a pleasure. Quality to the letter. Homeland, it's a good deal better.
We're cutting prices in half this week at Homeland. It's our half price sale and hundreds of items are marked down, adding up to savings of over $100.
Homeland, it's a good deal. Homeland, it's a good deal. Homeland, it's a good deal better. Ken's Family Night Buffet at $3.99. You'll love it. It's all you can eat of it. Ken's Family Night Buffet. Yeah, pizza, pasta, salad, and bread. Wouldn't you rather eat here instead? Sunday through Wednesday, now here's the time. Ken's Family Night Buffet, only $3.99. Your family will love it. Ken's Family Night Buffet.
Who does your taxes?
Actually, my parents managed to mess this up a few years ago.
If I did it myself, I'd go to jail, because I know what I'm doing.
They're like Greek to me.
I feel better taking it to someone who knows exactly what to do. H&R Block.
Don't let just anybody do what America's tax team prepares for all year, your taxes.
They're up to date on everything.
They guarantee satisfaction.
And I don't even worry about it anymore.
H&R Block, America's tax team.
Betty, I'm Lisa. I'm your nurse. You're at Hillcrest Hospital. We're going to take care of you here.
Year-round school. Tonight on the Nightcast, the school board hears from the public as one of the largest schools in our area considers teaching children year-round. Also at 10, living the American dream. After fleeing a war that tore his country apart, tonight's success story found his dream in the land of opportunity. For those stories and much more, join us at 10 for the Nightcast.
A Tulsa County man has been fighting a losing battle for more than a year. His fight is not with bureaucrats, but with beavers. News Channel 2's John Hudson has that story.
From his house, Doug Vanaken has a clear view of this pond on his 10 acres. That's not the way he wanted it, but he's lost 50 trees that lined the banks to beavers. He's never seen anything like it.
No, and you know, I'm from Michigan, and I never saw a beaver until I came down here.
And he'd been on this 10 acres near Prattville 14 years before the furry visitors showed up. It's not just a matter of losing trees. The beavers are causing a drainage problem.
Well, it backs it up. There's a pond over on the other side here that feeds under the road to here. And then this all drains down into a central drain area. And it just backs it up and it gradually comes up the banks, and that's flooding them out across the road.
Doug let a trapper start working the pond in November, but the traps have stayed empty. He's using wire mesh to protect the remaining trees. Then he stays busy on his tractor so the pond will drain adequately. So, until the traps produce something, it's a battle between the backhoe and the beavers. Near Prattville, John Hudson, News Channel 2.
Hard to defeat the world's best engineers.
That's
though,
right. They know what they're doing.
Keith?
Thanks so much. Hey, a big one tonight for Ken Hayes, hopefully. If NSU beats Langston and Tahlequah, it is the 600th career victory for Ken Hayes as a college basketball coach. We'll tell you that game came out tonight on the Nightcast. Also tonight, ORU back home against Arkansas Pine Bluff. The Titans trying to win that ugly 9-game losing streak. 0 for 93 they are.
Ouch. We'll try and make it a four-day winning streak here as far as these temperatures. Not quite as fine tomorrow with the wind picking up out of the south and clouds starting to move in, but just as warm, 65 to 70. Then Wednesday looks wet. Showers and maybe some heavy storms. That could end as a brief period of wet snow early Thursday, and you can see much colder air Thursday and Friday. Gets back to more normal February conditions, but the crocuses sure are pretty now.
Boy, aren't they not? They
great.
really are. That's it for the 6 o'clock report. Thank you for joining us.
We'll have news updates on the hour, and we hope to see you back here at 10 for the Nightcast.